Zoology King. No sunglasses indoors because that's weird. Anyway, welcome to a brand new Zoology King Nature YouTube video starring Smog. And let's start the video rolling. I don't know what we're waiting for. Very tight schedule. Let's go. So, as some of you might know, I live in Wisconsin. It's cold in Wisconsin. And we are in the middle of a 2 days off because of something called a cold snap. And what happens in a cold snap is it's really cold and you don't get to go to school. So I didn't have to go to school and now I'm filming this video. So anyway, what's new with the cold snap? I'm an expert of going out in the cold, so I'm just going to film a video out there. Anyway, let's go do that right now. Never mind. I think I'm going to do what I normally do when it's really cold outside. Pretend like Smog's heating lamp is a fire. It needs more kindling. It's not working. So while I was standing as close as I can to Smog's heating lamp, I realized that maybe I should do a video on Smog. I haven't done anything with him. Well, I've done things with him, but not anything on this channel before. So that's what we're going to do now. Welcome to today's video. How to take care of a bearded dragon. Let's actually start the video now. So the first thing you need to know about this YouTube video is that this is completely my opinion. Right here, other people have completely different ways on how to raise a bearded dragon. And my bearded dragon didn't die yet, which I think is a pretty good sign. He's doing everything he should be, pooping, eating, everything. So that's good. And now I'm going to show you some basic things about what you should do with your bearded dragon, what kind of stuff you should get, starting with the food. As for the food I'm giving him, it's some pretty basic stuff. This is just some mixed greens I found at Walmart for a reasonable price, and that's his veggie side of things. I've got him freeze-dried carrots, well, not carrots, crickets that he can eat, and I also got him black soldier fly larvae, and it's full of calcium, and bearded dragons need calcium because, or else they'll get like a bone disease, and that's not good because then they can't walk very well, and he does not have that, luckily. So he's got these black soldier fly larvae that he can eat because they're full of calcium, and now he's slipping off. So that was the food aspect of caring for a bearded dragon. Now let's head on to the water. Bearded dragons might not drink the water you give them, and that's fine because sometimes they get the water from their plants, which is why you should sometimes spray them and make sure that they're wet, so they can get their moisture from that. But you should sometimes, if you're not sure about it, you should have some AquaSafe or any kind of thing that cleanses what you put in the water for your bearded dragon, and then it's just regular water that you would drink. Take the AquaSafe or whatever it is, put it in there, and then maybe they'll swim around in it, change it out every day so it's clean, and then sometimes they'll drink it, and I'll show a clip of him just playing around in his water right now. So my setup for the bearded dragon, is really simple. I've just got this, which is grapevine thing that he can crawl around on, maybe sleep on. I've got this, which is like a basking spot right up here because right here is his basking light, which we'll get to. Then I've also got this right here, which is like a place that he can sleep. Right here is a spot, and right now he's already inside his water. And right here is a spot that he can just sit on and bask in the campfire up here that I use. And then also I have this sand substrate that he gets kind of messy around his food and water bowl, and I was just taking a water bath. Oh. I'm gonna take you out of there. Alright. I'm just gonna put you right here. Okay. So anyway. Let's see if I can get the shadow out of here. So I've got the sand substrate. Then I also have a sand mat underneath it, which is just like a hard mat that looks like sand that I can always have as like backup substrate. If he digs too far under this, he won't be touching glass. And if he does have a problem with the sand, like if he's swallowing it and having problems, then I can just take out the sand and just have a sand mat for him. And then of course his water bowl that he swam around in, so now it's dirty, so now I have to clean it, thanks smog. And I've got a backdrop for him, so it's kind of like a hilly thing. Bearded dragons live in Australia. I've got a boomerang in here, but that's more for like people to look at than smog. He can use it if he wants to, but he usually, when he's over in this area, he only likes making messes in his sand and making messes in his water. Right, Smog? Alright then. And that's it for the stuff I have in his cage. Now let's move on to the heating. So, as for heating, I've got this thing that I like to call the campfire because I go around it when I'm cold. He doesn't mind. Smog doesn't mind, at least. And it's a 24-hour heater, and it just heats up his entire enclosure because it's really cold in Wisconsin sometimes. So it just heats up his entire enclosure. I've also got a basking light for him that he can just bask on his log over there. Then a calcium light for him so he gets the calcium that he needs. He also gets the calcium from his grubs, which are in his food dish, which I didn't put back in there yet. But he does have grubs inside of his food dish for him. And then there he is right now, right where his food dish was. And then to record the heat, I've got 2 thermometers. One's right here and one's right here, but this one also has a humidifier on it, and it's all where it should be for the bearded dragon. And now we'll move on to lights. You really only need 2 lights for this. You have the... It's really annoying that I keep seeing my reflection in here. That's annoying. But anyway, you really only need 2 lights, and I've got like a duplex light thing, so it's pretty cool. I've got Basking Light and Calcium Light. And Calcium Light gives him calcium, and Basking Light gives him a spot to bask. And this is kind of like a mini basking spot, and his water is more messy now. That's great. But this is kind of like a mini basking spot. He can just sit there when these 2 are off, if he ever feels cold. Just sit right there. And now I guess we'll move on to cost and things about him that you should know about the bearded dragon. Want to know something really annoying? That light is really annoying. I'll have to fix that. Problem solved. Anyway, so that's Smog. You've learned something about his enclosure and everything. And to get everything that I just got right now would be about $400. And that's with like a different cage. I got this cage for Christmas. It's a pretty nice cage. It's got locks on it and everything. And it's just kind of better for him because the old cage is pretty old and run down. So that's his cage. That's everything about him. So yeah, it costs about $400, but then you need to keep giving him live food, freeze-dried food sometimes, and then also you're going to need to get him like vegetables, greens, and everything. so it can be pretty expensive to get all his food. I pay for most of it. I paid for all of like the starting costs for like the $400 to get him initially, and then I also had to pay for I pay for like most of his food and everything. My dad sometimes helps me out with it, but helps me out with paying for it, but I pay a lot of it too. And that's about it with the bearded dragon. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. If anybody besides my family members and friends are watching this, then you can just go ahead and tell me at school to take off my sunglasses. That way I know that you watch this video. And I hope to see you on the next video. And I hope you like this video. And this is a real long closure. So let's just get to the point. Goodbye. Tell me to take my sunglasses off. This bottle's empty.